You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. We've mentioned this several times. Nothing is separate from Krishna's manifestation of energy. Even if you don't accept Krishna, whatever it is you're investigating, whatever it is you're studying and examining in this world, is simply Krishna's energy. It's simply that the devotees recognize that it's coming from Krishna, and those who are not devotees fail to recognize from whom everything comes. But it is a fact. Everything is simply Krishna. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. At the end of chapter 10, Krishna did tell Arjuna that he pervades and supports this whole cosmic manifestation by a mere anksha, a mere particle of his potency. Arjuna, in seeing this universal form, is now realized what Krishna said at the end of chapter 10. He's seeing it. He's giving you first-hand report, just like we see if you watch the news on television or hear it on the radio. The reporter is there and he's telling you what he sees. Arjuna is telling us exactly what he sees, and it is being reported by Sanjaya and recorded by Vyasadeva in this Bhagavad Gita, which is found in the Mahabharata. Arjuna continues, you are air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great-grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again. Arjuna is in ecstasy. This is quite evident. He wants to offer obeisances again and again. He's in a state of ecstasy, praying to this universal form. His ecstasy continues. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all-pervading, and thus you are everything. Now in this next few verses, Arjuna becomes a little bit repentant. Listen now. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please, forgive me for whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, or lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone, and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Arjuna and Krishna have spent their lives together, and their relationship was extremely friendly. After all, their relationship was such an extent that Krishna agreed to be Arjuna's chariot driver. Now, Arjuna is seeing firsthand who is this friend of his. They're not really equals. Although Krishna is playing the role of an ordinary chariot driver, Arjuna is seeing this is not some chariot driver. This is the God of all gods. Naturally, he wants to offer his respect and homage and beg forgiveness for not properly understanding Krishna. He continues, you are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipful chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you. nor can anyone be one with you. The Sanskrit word asamardva. No one is equal to, and no one is greater than God, Krishna. How then could anyone be greater than you within these three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? You are the supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances, and I ask your mercy. Here, Arjuna now is going to give some examples of why Krishna should be merciful to him and forgive his unintended offenses. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, or as a friend tolerates the impertinence of a friend, or as a wife tolerates the familiarity of her partner, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened. But at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe, O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord. I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. So Arjuna, after praying and asking forgiveness of the universal form, at the end requested Krishna to take away this universal form, because actually Arjuna does not like this universal form because it does not foster love and devotion. We have heard repeatedly fear, disturbance. He wants to once again go back to the normal state of being with Krishna in loving devotion. And it was mentioned Krishna's four-armed form. Krishna has his original two-armed form, but he also has his four-armed form, Vishnu Narayan. And Krishna's two-armed form, that is the Govinda Shyamasundara form. So now, in these next verses, Krishna will appease Arjuna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency the supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence." So this is significant. There have been other universal forms, and indeed, even Duryodhana was shown a particular universal form. But the one that Krishna showed Arjuna, that was never seen previously by anyone. It was just for Arjuna's benefit. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Yes, you cannot force Krishna to do what you want. Krishna will only agree to do something out of his own sweet will. But you can induce Krishna out of his own sweet will by your love and devotion, and not by anything else. This has been a recurrent theme of Bhagavad Gita, It is only by love and devotion, nothing else. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. So even Krishna admits that this universal form is not sweet, it's horrible. Now let it be finished. My dear devotee, be free again from all disturbances. Now, with a peaceful mind, you can see the form you desire. Sanjaya then said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real forearm form, because the universal form is not Krishna's real form. The forearm form, that's a real form of Krishna. And at last showed his two-armed form. Now the two-armed form of Krishna in this Bhagavad Gita is called Saumya Vapu, the sweet, the dearest form. The two-armed form is even sweeter than Krishna's four-armed form. At last Krishna showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. When Arjuna saw Krishna in his original form, so the original form of Krishna is the Saumya Vapu, the two-armed form. Arjuna said, O Janardhan, seeing this human-like form, notice he says human-like, because although Krishna looks like a human being, Arjuna has now been convinced Krishna is not an ordinary human being. Although he looks like one, he is still with unlimited, immeasurable power. Arjuna has seen this. O Janardhan, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind, and I am restored to my original nature. Yes, even we could say the original nature of the soul is to be eternal, full of knowledge and blissful, not perturbed, fearful, wondrous. No. Now that Arjuna is seeing Krishna in this sweet, beautiful two-armed form, now he is in his original nature, calm, peaceful, blissful. The chapter ends with Krishna giving Arjuna some very valuable information, and as such, if we hear attentively, we will amass great transcendental knowledge. Please listen without any deviation. This is the exclusivity of Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, said, My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing, meaning the two-armed form, is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. Not only the demigods, even Krishna in his form of Mahavishnu wants to see the two-armed form of Krishna. And indeed, there was a particular pastime where Lord Mahavishnu arranged it that Krishna came with Arjuna to see him in his abode, just so that Mahavishnu could see Krishna in his two-armed form. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas. Yes, Arjuna, because he is a devotee, a pure devotee, he sees things transcendentally, not mundane. Nor by undergoing severe, serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that I can be seen as I am. Here we are getting to a very important part of Bhagavad Gita. So many times we have heard, can you show me God? I will believe in God when I can see him. Krishna here is going to point out how he can be seen. And this is the only way that God can be seen, not any other way. Please listen. If you want to see God, then Krishna will explain how he can be seen. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Undivided. This means 24/7, 365. Undivided also means nothing else added, unalloyed. It must be pure devotion and love and service, and it must be done continuously. Then God can be seen in your heart of hearts always, not just once. You will constantly see him, but you have to come to the stage of undivided devotional service. It begins hearing Bhagavad Gita and chanting incessantly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You should cry out to Krishna like a child for its mother. The chanting should come from the heart. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Even if we want to see some important person in the material world, you have to make such an endeavor. You have to make such an arrangement. And if you're lucky, maybe you can have a personal audience with an important personality or dignitary. What to speak of wanting to see God face to face? You think it's going to be that easy? That you think God is going to appear on television? No. You have to become most qualified. And that requires purification of the heart. People ask, show me God. The question is, are you prepared to accept the process by which God says he will reveal himself? God is not going to reveal himself on man's terms. Okay, God, show yourself to me, then I'll believe. No. God says no. If you want to see me, it's on my terms, not your terms. First, become free from sin. Give up meat, fish, eggs. Give up your intoxication. Give up your illicit sex. Give up your gambling. Give up your sins. First, obey God. Then you can qualify yourself to see God. But you want to see God by defying him, by being sinful, by being materialistic? No. That is not the way to see God, you arrogant rascal. You must see God by becoming meek and humble, surrendering. Then he will agree. You want to see God? If you're actually serious, then sincerely and seriously chant his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The problem is, nobody's serious. They don't really want to investigate God. If you want to become a lawyer or an engineer or a doctor, do you think these things can happen overnight? You must do study. You must pay money. You must surrender years of your lives. Then you can become a doctor, a lawyer, engineer. It's not cheap. No pain, no gain, we say in America. What to speak of seeing God face to face? How much more penance and austerities and study and qualifications you need? But again, it's really simple. Even a child can see God. All it requires: seriousness, sincerity, purification, and such an intense desire. The desire to see God must be so great that it supersedes any other desire. When you have that much desire that I cannot stand to live until I see God, then God will reveal, not otherwise. You have to really want it. That's why we encourage this chanting, because the chanting brings you to the point where your desire to see God becomes so great that you feel as if you will give up your air of life unless you see Him. This is the science behind chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Final verse of this chapter, Krishna says to Arjuna, "My dear Arjuna, one who thus engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his or her life, and who is friendly to every living being, such a person certainly comes to me." Here is the guarantee by God. This is very similar to what Jesus Christ said when he was once asked, "What is the greatest commandment?" And Christ said there are two: to love God with your whole soul, your whole heart, your whole mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. Krishna is saying the same thing, that when you render service to me undivided, and it's pure, and you're friendly to every living being, this is why we don't kill animals. We also see the animals as our neighbor. Krishna is saying here, friendly to every living being. Jesus said, "Love thy neighbor." We followers of Krishna view all animals as our neighbor. We don't kill them to eat. We practice nonviolence in this way. So therefore, by hearing this 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one should come to the conclusion and surrender to Krishna here and pick up this Krishna consciousness, devotional service. Gradually, little by little, step by step, the heart becomes cleansed of all material contamination. And when the heart is clean, and there are no more material desires, when the mirror of the mind is cleansed, then you can see God and yourself. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.